Alright, I see that it's finally time to address the elephant in the room. And no, I don't mean this elephant, I mean the Fazbear Let's Plays. Where did they go, and why am I not doing them anymore? Well, honestly, I don't really think I've talked about this publicly, and I was briefly going to talk about this in my Q&A video because it's a question that a lot of people are asking about, but honestly, I think if I talk about it in that video, it's going to take up too much time. So hey, I just decided, why not make a whole video about this topic and just explain myself, because I want to talk about some things that have been bothering me since 2016, and also some recent things that have been bothering me, because I feel like no one on my channel really understands my perspective, and that's only because I've never really told you guys, because I don't really like talking about this stuff because I'm the kind of person that puts other people ahead of myself, and with my own problems I kind of just bottle them up and let them bother me, which I really shouldn't do because that's really unhealthy. So honestly, I think this video is going to be a good thing, and I'm going to explain why I haven't been making Fazbear Let's Plays recently. So back when I first started making the Fazbear Let's Plays, which was in 2015, there was a whole magic to this idea that I had to give the FNAF characters voices and their own unique personalities and have them play video games. But today, in 2019, that idea doesn't have any magic anymore, and I'm going to explain right now why I believe that, and also why I think a lot of my subscribers believe that too, as evident by the increasingly low view counts of the recent Fazbear Let's Plays. So back in 2015, when I first started doing the Fazbear Let's Plays, the FNAF characters were a completely blank canvas. And that's what I loved about them. They had no voices, no personalities, they simply existed to stalk and scare anyone who dared play their games. And that's what I loved about them. Like, the fans could do anything they wanted with the FNAF characters because they had no personalities. So anyone could take Freddy Fazbear, or Bonnie, or Chica, or Foxy, and do anything with them. They could give them any kind of personality, they could give them any kind of voice, and that was awesome, and I think that was part of the magic of FNAF's early days. Like back in the 2014 to 2016 era, there was so many channels that made animations or other kinds of videos where they gave the FNAF characters their own personalities and voices, and it was so fun and interesting to go to all the different channels and to see how other people interpret the FNAF characters, you know? It was an awesome part of the community and the franchise as a whole. But of course, the Five Nights at Freddy's games couldn't stay the same forever. They needed to change and evolve to keep things fresh and new. And one thing that Scott did to make the games interesting in the later games was introduce voice acting in Sister Location. And yes, FNAF World Update 2 did have voice acting, but the voice acting in Update 2 was there to kind of make fun of bad voice acting in other video games like Star Fox. I mean, I think a lot of people kind of missed that, but that was the whole point of, you know, Fredbear's goofy voice and all that, and the fact that he says, "Voice acting? No! He's gone too far this time!" You know, that was kind of to make fun of the bad voice acting in other video games. So that was totally cool, but then when Sister Location came around, that was, you know, some real serious voice acting that was there to convey storytelling and to give a bit of personality to characters like Circus Baby and Funtime Freddy. Now, when the voice acting for Sister Location came around, it was somewhat of an obstacle for my channel because I really didn't want to give original voices to characters like Circus Baby and Ballora, but they had official ones, and so it came to the point where I was like, what do I do? I can't really imitate Circus Baby and Ballora's official voices because they sound like actual females, and I can't really do female voices. The best I can do is my terrible Chica voice and my Mangle voice, which is supposed to be kind of gender neutral anyway, so what the heck do I do? So I just decided to make up my own voices and see how people reacted. Initially, people reacted really badly. There was a lot of people that did like the voices, but there was also a lot of people that said, you know, what the hell is this? This is not what Circus Baby sounds like. This is not what Ballora sounds like. And for quite a while, people hated those voices. And it's kind of weird because as time went on, people actually started liking them, which is really weird. Like, people hated them at first, but then they started liking them out of nowhere, and a lot of people were telling me that Circus Baby's voice on my channel was one of their favorite voices out of all the voices that I do, and I was just like, okay, that's cool, great, awesome. And then Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator came around, and that game introduced like, I don't know, like 25 new characters, and I didn't really rush to give those characters voices because there were so many of them, and I think I was working on other things at the time. And I don't think there was any new animatronic voice acting in that game anyway, because Molten Freddy just had Funtime Freddy's voice, Scrap Baby had Circus Baby's voice, Afton had well, Afton's voice from Sister Location. The only new voice I think was Cassette Man, but that's not a character that I would voice myself anyway. And yeah, there was Candy Cadet, but he was text-to-speech, so that's not really a big deal. So yeah, I never had a problem with the voice acting in Sister Location and Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator. Sister Location did give me a brief obstacle to deal with all the female voices that I couldn't imitate, so I had no choice but to do original voices. I had an original voice idea for Funtime Freddy as well, but the only reason why I kind of just ended up imitating his Sister Location voice is because that's a voice that I can realistically imitate, but I can't really imitate Circus Baby's voice or Ballora's voices because they just sound like regular human females. Like, I can't really do that because my voice is too deep. I mean, as you guys know, I'm terrible, just terrible at female voices. I mean, the best I can do is,
like this for Circus Baby. Hi, I'm Circus Baby.
I mean, that's the best I can do. So yeah, with Sister Location and Pizzeria Simulator, there was little to no problems for me with the official voice acting. The Fazbear Let's Plays was still doing really, really well despite that. And yeah, but then came the real problem. Ultimate Custom Night. Now guys, I want to say that I love Ultimate Custom Night. It's probably my favorite FNAF game of all time. It's so much fun, it's got a lot of replayability. But in my honest opinion, and you guys are probably going to hate me for saying this, but in my honest opinion, I think Ultimate Custom Night killed the channel. And during the whole development stage of Ultimate Custom Night, the time when we were getting the animatronics AIs and all the reveals of the voice acting and what the animatronics would sound like, I was excited at that time, but at the same time, I was incredibly stressed because I remembered how people reacted when I first did the Sister Location voices of my own, and people got really, really mad. And now this game is going to be giving voices to characters that I've been voicing for like 3 years already. Like Freddy, even though he didn't end up getting a voice, and like Foxy and Puppet and Toy Freddy and all that stuff. And I was so stressed that people are all of a sudden going to turn around and say, "What the hell is this? Your voices are crap. Why does Freddy sound like this on your channel? He sounds completely different in the games. What is this?" I was worried that it was going to kill the channel, and lo and behold, it did. As soon as Ultimate Custom Night came out, the views of my videos dropped drastically. I started getting comments pretty much every day, and even emails saying, stuff like, "Why are you making Puppet sound like this? Puppet's a girl. Why do you make Puppet sound like that on your channel? Why does Toy Freddy sound like this? Why does Funtime Foxy sound like that?" Stuff like that. I mean, the comments weren't terrible or anything. They weren't mean. They were just constantly asking me, why do you make them sound this way when they sound different in the games? And this is something that I was really worried about because I then realized that my content's going to become really confusing, because if someone watches a video that's like Foxy plays this, and then they click on it, and Foxy sounds nothing like he does in the games, they're going to be like, "What the hell is going on? What is this? Foxy doesn't sound like that." And, so I understand why people were asking me this and really getting mad at me over this, because to them, my content might have seemed like I was going out of my way to make these fake and inaccurate voices when they existed before Ultimate Custom Night. So, guys, how I said earlier that back in 2015, the Fazbear Let's Plays had magic, but now in 2019, they don't? That's exactly what I mean, because back in 2015, the characters were blank canvases. You could do whatever you wanted with them, and I could do whatever I wanted with them, and I did, and I loved making those Fazbear Let's Plays. But now in 2019, almost all of the FNAF characters have official voices and personalities. I mean, you got Withered Bonnie making face puns, you got Foxy making jokes about booty, you've got Mr. Hippo telling 30-minute long stories, They have their own personalities now and their voices, and that's great, but now I can't do what I do anymore because it's obsolete, for lack of a better word. It's obsolete because there's no point in doing them because they have their official voices. And I forgot to mention this before, but once those comments started coming in, that's when I started putting in that Candy Cadet disclaimer to point out that these videos are parody. And when I put that disclaimer in, those comments did slow down a bit. They did go away a little bit, but people to this day still ask me that, why the characters sound the way that they do. So the disclaimer did help a little bit, but in the long run, it doesn't solve everything 100%. So, I know this is a really, really long video. If you guys are still here, thank you so much, but the main reason why I'm not making the Fazbear Let's Plays anymore is because the magic is gone. There's no real reason to make them. Like, I love making them. Like, I love every Fazbear Let's Play that I make. There are some that I've made that I never released because they were bad, but all of the ones on my channel are videos that I'm very proud of. But the fact of the matter is, I'm here on YouTube to entertain people and to make them happy. I'm not here to annoy people or to confuse people or to make them upset. I'm here to make people happy and to entertain people. And that's why I made the Fazbear Let's Plays, because people loved them. But in 2019, people don't love them. Some people do still, but barely anyone does anymore. The Fazbear Let's Plays used to be able to get 100k views within a week. Now, within the last 6 months, none of them have cracked 100k views, except for the Dead by Daylight video that I did, and I think also the recent Among the Sleep video. So that's 2 Fazbear Let's Plays in the past 6 months that have actually done well. And for a channel of my size, that's honestly pretty pathetic and kind of depressing. And I always said that I would do the Fazbear Let's Plays as long as people are watching them. And it's come to the point where people don't really watch them anymore. Some people still do, but barely anyone does anymore. Like, usually these days, they get like 20k views. And, you know, 20k is a lot of people. But again, for a channel my size, it's nothing. Like, I'm not doing my job. I feel like I'm not doing my job well enough. I'm not entertaining people. I'm not making the right type of content, which is why I've been trying to make new things like the top 10 lists and more ETH Let's Plays. And yeah, I mean, that's just it, I guess. The magic is gone. Like, people don't like the Fazbear Let's Plays anymore. They don't like my voices as much. Again, I know some people do. Some of you do still support them and send me nice comments, and I do appreciate that very much. But I want to make content that a large amount of people can enjoy, because that's why I'm here. I'm here to entertain you guys. I'm not here to make inaccurate voices and piss people off. Like, I'm not here for that. I don't like upsetting people. I actually like making them happy. And if I'm not making them happy, then something needs to change, you know? And honestly, this has nothing really to do with why I'm not making the Fazbear Let's Plays anymore, but there's always been something about the Fazbear Let's Plays since like 2016 that's always really bothered me. I honestly feel like I don't deserve my sub count. I don't deserve the 900k subscribers that I have, and the reason why I think that is because I feel like my subscribers, not all of them, but most of my subscribers are not fans of me. They're either fans of FNAF or the voices that I do, not me as a person. And I think a good way to prove that is that I have 900k subscribers on my channel, but on all of my other social medias, like my Facebook and my Twitter, I have like about 5,000 followers, I think, on Twitter, and then 4,000 on Facebook. So out of the 900k people that subscribe to my channel, only 5,000 of them like me as a person. And honestly, that's actually pretty depressing. And I know stupid stuff like this shouldn't matter. I mean, they're just numbers, who really cares? But like, most other FNAF YouTubers out there, they can get like 100k followers on Twitter, so people like them, people care about them. But I feel like with my channel, people don't really care about me. They just care about the voices that I do, or they just care about FNAF. They just want to get their FNAF fix, you know? And again, I want to state, I do appreciate every single one of you. I do appreciate all of the support that I've got. But that's just something that's always really bothered me about my channel, that people don't really care about me as a person. And people have said to me before, well, maybe you don't have many followers on Twitter because your viewers are young, you know, and I thought to myself, yeah, maybe that's true, but then that doesn't explain why every other FNAF YouTuber has so many followers and I don't. And I don't want you guys to think that I'm blaming you guys for anything. I mean, it's all my fault because I made too much Fazbear content and didn't make enough content with me in it. So that's on me, that's my fault. Honestly, my friends in real life used to bug me all the time, and they've been bugging me since 2015 to make less FNAF stuff and more ETH stuff, because they told me, and I didn't listen to them, they told me that my fans weren't going to subscribe for me, they were going to subscribe for FNAF. But I just loved making the Fazbear Let's Plays so much. I loved giving the characters personalities, I loved making stories for them, I loved playing all the FNAF fan games. It was awesome, it was so much fun. But I really should have taken the time to make more ETH Let's Plays, and now because of my actions, my channel is basically dead and screwed. I mean, even with this thing of all of the FNAF characters getting official voices, like, my channel still could have been saved if my fans liked me, and if I had made more ETH content in the past. I've tried doing that ever since 2016. I go through this vicious cycle where I make like 3 ETH Let's Plays, people get super mad at me, and then I cower and regress to making Fazbear Let's Plays again. It's really pathetic, but it's just what I do. Like I said, guys, I don't like upsetting people, because people would always get upset when I made ETH Let's Plays, so I would just go back to the Fazbear stuff, and now because of what's happened with Ultimate Custom Night, the channel is dead, and it's basically my fault, which is why I've been trying really hard to come up with new things to do on the channel, because I don't want the channel to get so dead that I have to look for other work. Right now, it's not too bad. I can still work on the channel and make decent income, so I can make videos regularly. But if it gets much worse, then I'll have to look for other work, because it's not very good right now. It's not good at all. So, also, I just want to state that I don't dislike the Ultimate Custom Night voices. I know a lot of people in the comments are probably going to start saying, oh, you hate the UCN voices. I actually don't. I actually love most of them. I think my favorite is probably Mangle's. I love Mangle's voice in Ultimate Custom Night. I think Mangle's voice is pretty much as perfect as it could be for Mangle. Other ones I really like With a Chica's voice. I've always been a fan of Circus Baby / Scrap Baby's voice. I love those voices. Trying to think of some male ones that I like. Foxy's is alright. Foxy's is basically how I expected it to be. I'm trying to think of a male voice that I like. I quite like Orville Elephants as well. Orville's is really cool. I kind of like those old man British style voices. Those are always really soothing to listen to, so I like Orville's voice. But anyway, I've been rambling on for long enough. This video is so long and I need to end it. I'm sorry, guys. Most of you probably haven't watched this far. And if you have, maybe let me know in the comments so I know that you're awesome and a true cupcake. But yeah, the bottom line is, I don't make the Fazbear Let's Plays anymore because the magic is gone. People don't watch them anymore. The characters have official voices now, so my videos are basically obsolete. And yeah, there's no real reason to make them. But honestly, I would love to know your opinion on this, guys. So please let me know in the comments below. What do you think of this whole situation? What should I do? Honestly, because I don't know. I'm trying my best. I'm trying to do ETH Let's Plays. I'm trying to do other stuff, but so far it hasn't really worked. My channel is still pretty dead, but I'm trying to think of ways to revive this and get an awesome community of people that hopefully like me and not just FNAF, because I would really love that. I'd love to build a real audience of people that like me, who just like my type of comedy and content, I hope you guys can understand where I'm coming from, and I hope I haven't made you guys mad with this. Honestly, this is just stuff that has bothered me ever since 2016, and I really, really needed to vent it to you guys. So yeah. Alright guys, so please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Let me know in the comments below what you think of all this, and yeah, please subscribe, it really helps me out. Thank you so much to all of you that are true fans. I really appreciate you all, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye, everybody.